I'm Anil Kumar sharing with you an excellent question on domain and range. The question here is sketch graph of the function square root of f of x and state its domain and range. So we are given the function f of x in the form of a graph here, which is a parabola with vertex at 0, minus 4. The x-intercepts are square root 2 and minus square root 2. Well, for some of my students, they can find the equation of the parabola, substitute it for f of x, and then solve algebraically also, right? But in case a graph is given to you, then state the domain of square root of f of x. Can you state the domain of square root of f of x? That is the question. Now, when you look at this graph, we find that within minus 2 to square root 2, f of x is negative, right? So whenever you are doing square root of f of x, then we are looking for f of x which should be greater than equal to 0. Clearly, the domain here is from minus infinity to minus square root 2. Square root 2 should be included. Infinity can never be included. Union from square root 2, which is included, to infinity, right? So the domain is all the points to the left side of minus square root 2 and to the right side of square root 2, correct? So that becomes the domain of the function, right? So we can write this as domain. Now how about the range of the function? To find the range, we can find square root function. So what you can do here is you can actually make a table of values and then write what is the value for f of x and what is the value of square root of f of x, right? For example, if I substitute 0, y value I mean, right? So f of x is 0, then square root of f of x will be 0, right? If I substitute 1, right, this is 1, at this point square root of 1 will be equals to 1, and 4 is a good point to take. So if I substitute 4 for f of x, square root of 4 is going to be 2. That means it will be a point here, correct? Now, can you tell me when f of x is half, that is, if f of x is half, what is the square root of half? Well, 0.5 that is. If you use the calculator, what you really find is, just the square root of half is 0.5 equals to, it is equal to, in decimals, 0.707, 0.7. As you can see, it is more than 0.5, correct? So at half, it is kind of more, right? Therefore, the graph of the function will be joining these points like this. Do you see that? So that is how it is going to be. So it is symmetric, right? So it goes slightly above the line and then goes like this. So that is the square root function. Do you see that? It is above the line when the function is between 0 and 1, above f of x, but thereafter it is less than f of x, correct? However, we are interested in range of the function, correct? So the range of the function clearly is what? Range for the square root function is from 0, so you could include 0 to infinity, right? So that is the range of the function. So that is how you can answer this very question, right? I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.